going to talk about consciousness is all. And as we look out into the world with all the myriad of things going on and the pandemic and all this energy, consciousness is all. It moves, it lives, and has its being through every living thing. And one thing about our Maharaj that was quoted this morning is he talks about that consciousness is love. And we read in the Bible that God is love, and they that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. Whatever you conceive your God to be, whatever name you put on your higher power, it doesn't matter. But to feel that energy within us, and to know that it lives and moves and has its being right where we are. And as we go about, in these very strange times, and I don't like wearing a mask any more than anyone else does, but we wear them. It's wisdom, right? However, at the Rose of Sharon Sanctuary, these are my friends that have been with me for years and years and years. And so we do not wear masks here in the service because this is family. And I'm sure that when you sit across the table from a family member, you're not wearing masks, but you're knowing that you are divinely protected. The love of God surrounds us. The light of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. This is the truth for us and with us. And that as we look at consciousness, I think of the milk of human kindness. And I am so reminded of a beautiful story about a young man. And in my day, it was interesting. We had Fuller brush men, and they would knock on the door, right? And I had one that was just so persistent. And, I was putting my husband through school, and we were poor. We had no money. And we, had money for books, right? And to get ourselves through school. He was very persistent. And so finally one day, I opened the door, and I said, no, I cannot buy anything. And I closed the door. And then I heard a knock on my back door. And I answered it. And there he was. He said, you know what? There's a beautiful, beautiful lady that lives here. I don't know who answered the door today, but she wasn't very nice at all. Well, of course, I started laughing. I said, well, what do you have for me that's free, right? I think I had $1.50, and he had, some sort of little thing that I could buy, but he was hysterical. But there is a beautiful story about a young man who was working himself through school, and he was a Fuller brush man. And the days when, we had milk delivered. We had a milkman, not only the milkman, but, everything was delivered. And where I lived in the San Fernando Valley, we had like a little store. And we called it the little store. So we would go, get our supplies. But this young man was working himself through school, being a Fuller brush man. And he was out of money. He was just so hungry, and he was knocking on doors. And, if you don't have energy and you're into sales, people are not going to buy your product. And so he came to one door, and he just thought, if they could just, if they have a sandwich even, that would be really wonderful. And so he knocked on this door, and this young lady answered. She was so beautiful that he was speechless and taken aback. And he said, do you have a glass of water? So, that was the extent of what he could think of at that moment. She said, oh, just one moment, please. And these were the days when, I talk about, I'm from the 60s, that we hitchhiked and people picked us up and we picked up hitchhikers. I mean, these were very different days than we live in today. My daughter takes my grandson to school. He has a special number. She has a special identification on the car to let the child out. These are very, very different days. And in our day, there was trust. There was an energy of aliveness. It was kind of the Fonzie days. And I tell my daughter, that's really how it was when I was growing up. And so she said, I'll be right back. And she came, and she brought this huge, cold, glass of milk. And she, put it through the screen door and invited him in. And she said, would you like something else? And he was just so struck by her, he said no. He was starving. And so he drank the glass of milk, and he was so grateful. And it was very filling. And he thanked her. He noticed that her name was Mary Ann Jones, and went on his way. Well, years later, this young man, Fuller Brush man, amazingly enough, was, his goal was to go into med school. And this is synchronicity. This is why I love our way of life. Synchronicity, serendipity, go before us and prepare the way when we're tuned in to that consciousness. Well, Mary Ann Jones had a congenital heart condition that she never even knew about. And she discovered that she needed this major surgery. Now, you have to realize this is in the 50s. And medical insurance wasn't that great. And she was just not in a position to be paying for this. But she knew that she would cross over. She'd die if she didn't have the surgery. And so she went in, and her mother went with her. And she had this major surgery that she couldn't pay for. Now, when we talk about consciousness is all, what was so amazing is that when the bills were, crossed over and given to, in those days, the doctors, and they would look over, their procedures, he realized that he was going to be performing this heart surgery on the young girl when he was a Fuller Brush man. He was going to be performing this major heart surgery on Mary Ann Jones, the young girl that gave him the glass of milk. So the surgery was a great, wonderful success. When the bills came and they crossed his desk, he wrote on Mary Ann Jones, paid in full with 1 glass of milk. Paid in full with 1 glass of milk. The milk of human kindness. That milk of human kindness that allows us to connect at the heart center. And sometimes the heart needs to be addressed, right? The heart is the doorway to the soul. And when we recognize that this heart, where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. So energetically, when we look at consciousness as all, and the fact that all of these contributing energies come into play, that nothing is lost in mind, that which we are seeking is seeking us. When we recognize that, when we acknowledge that, when we open the space to allow God to do what God does best, there is a portal that opens, and we walk through it. And as we walk through this portal, guess what? There are all the enlightened ones. There are the saints. There are the angels, the archangels, and all enlightened beings to cleanse, purify, harmonize, balance, attune, and heighten the energy field. For eye hath not seen nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man and woman the things which God hath prepared for them that love. And that's Miss Minnie. We've got squirrels and chipmunks, and she jumped out of Kay's lap. And so our little team, she's very elusive that way. And you know that I am giving my talk at the Rose of Sharon Sanctuary. So with that being said, there's a portal that we walk through and that we open to allow God to do what God does best by means of each and every one of us. So on this glorious day, where the milk of human kindness truly is, the consciousness that lives and moves and has its being, right where we are. And for every prayer that I say, I make a declaration, all cause, effect, record, and memory of that which no longer serves returns to its native nothingness from whence it came, because in truth, it is neither person, place, nor thing. It is only the life and the energy that is given unto it. So what are we giving our life and our energy to? There's so much going on that we can give our power away to. And as we give our power away, we become depleted. Do we have challenges? Do we have things that come up? Is it a scary moment here and there? Of course. We're all part of the human condition. But there is that within us that is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions, appearances, and effects. That's right. Our humanness gives way to the divine, and the Christ consciousness arises triumphant and victorious. Jesus was very clear on his mission. And that clarity came through going up on the mount and fasting and praying for 40 days. And of course, the shadow side of Jesus in the form of what? Satan said, hey, aren't you the Son of God? You can cast yourself off from this cliff and arise again. You can turn these stones into bread. Aren't you the Son of God? And what did Jesus say? And he was hungry. And I'm sure his stomach was really growling. He said, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of man. What that means is that there is so much more encompassed in consciousness and developing a consciousness. And that he went up on that mount so he could clear himself. And what did he say when he came down the mount? Be of good cheer, I have overcome. I have overcome the world. The world of conditions that show up, that are scary, that look like Roman guards, that really want to take my life. From those that are nice to my face and then kiss me, and then turn me over to the priests that want to do away with me. I mean, he had a lot going on. Just as Lord Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, and Mara, the evil spirit, the energy, tempting through lust, tempting through outer power. We all have those moments. So what keeps us in alignment with our higher consciousness? It's a knowing that we do not live by the outer things alone, but by every word that proceeds out of our mouth, because what? That which we utter becomes the outer. Decree a thing, Jesus said, and it is established unto thee. Lord Buddha said, man, woman is the result of all that they have thought. Thoughts are things, Ernest Holmes states, words are moles. So the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are accepted and received. O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. That energy that lives and moves and has its being at the center of our one life. That a complete heart surgery paid in full by one glass of milk. The milk of human kindness that moves through humanity. And we have felt it, haven't we? And you know, we all have our moments. I love living here up at the Desert Crest Country Club. And I moved here. It's mobile and a modular home park. I moved here because of the minerals. And there was one man, you know, from Sweden. He was very sweet and, you know, always asking me out to dinner and, you know, extending himself. And then I went away and I came back and we were having a conversation. And I guess he just kind of forgot himself and he started using really profane language and, you know, mainly the F word. And it wasn't fear. And so I said, finally, I just said, you know, I really like you, but I don't appreciate your language at all. And then I let it go. So now he doesn't speak to me. I go up, I go, good evening. Oh, okay. So I must have, you know, that little boy, that child within that felt scolded, felt that maybe mother, you know, didn't approve of him, you know, is being made manifest. But I don't stop. I just, you know, he's there. I'm not going to ignore him. He's a human being. Does he have foul language? Yeah. I didn't appreciate it. However, I know that the truth of his being, he didn't do that at first. I think he was trying to impress me or something. And then got more comfortable, right? And I believe that all words have vibrations. And when we use language that is not the highest vibratory frequency, that energy goes out and it returns to us as well, right? It does. So I'm about conscious languaging. I have taught conscious languaging for 45 years, and I'm very, very aware. And that's why when you use the I am, be very conscious of what you put after it. Because if you're saying I am the S word, sick, the universe says, yes, you are. If you say I am tired, in fact, Dr. Holmes states in the Science of Mind textbook to never use I am tired, because the universe will respond to us and move us to a lower vibratory frequency. So now we're not tired. We're kind of fatigued. We're not even, more than fatigued. We're exhausted. Finally, we get to lay down because we're sick. So all of these things lead to a lower vibratory frequency. So, I tell my students, when I lay down, I'm resting and regenerating. So I am resting and regenerating. My cells at a DNA cellular level are responding to that. And even through, the experiences that we have, we can accelerate the healing process by affirming, I am whole, perfect, and complete. That one goes before me and prepares the way as I become a lamp unto my own feet. The milk of human kindness is flowing through this universe, this planet of ours. Blessed are they who have eyes that see, who have ears that hear. And I will continue saying hello and good evening to this person that doesn't feel that he can speak to me now, and that I've so deeply offended by his foul language. Right, my fault. But I will take responsibility that maybe I could have said it in a maybe nicer way, but I was just, it just went on and on. So we all shoot from the hip from time to time. We get to clean it up later. If it cleans up, great, wonderful. If not, it can't be helped. What did Fritz Perls say? I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to my expectations. I am I, and you are you, and if by chance we find each other, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And if not, it can't be helped. It's not a vibrational match. Do I need to judge you? No. But Jesus said, wipe the dust from off thy feet and go thy way in peace. And so we just wipe off what no longer serves and go our way in peace. And what we know is that this power for good in the universe that is greater than we are is using us. And all we have to do is give our permission and to acknowledge all cause, effect, record, and memory of that which no longer serves us returns to its native nothingness from whence it came. It is neither person, place, nor thing, only the life and the energy that we have given unto it. So today, I'm so blessed to be with you today and just to acknowledge this wonderful energy that we share, that I see into your soul today, and I know you see into my soul, and that we can connect at the soul level, and we can feel that energy and how really blessed we are that we can continue our message of universal love, because I'm about shifting the scales in favor of spirituality, and I believe they can be shifted. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. We are one. And that we're all going somewhere. And do you know where that is? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. For I am in a high place, and I will not come down. None of these outer things move me. I am in a high place, and I will not come down. I say to you, Namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you, And the God in you salutes the God in me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. Namaste. And the peace that passes all understanding is shalom. Shalom. The peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, every single one. Just know that I love you, that I am grateful for you, and that we are going higher yet. And so it is. And now Fleet has something so wonderful planned for us. And we take it away, Fleet.